Today on the Philly Talk podcast, the Eagles make a roster move. And the funny thing is, he's coming from the Minnesota Vikings practice squad. Are we trying to get some info before Monday night's game? Also, Jonathan Gannon has a lot of excuses. We'll talk about his press conference and what he said about putting players in the right situation. But did he really say that Howie Roseman is a part of the defensive game plan? Huh? We'll listen to that clip. And last but not least, Jalen Hurts was clutch on 3rd and 4th down. 8 clutch third downs and 2 clutch fourth downs. We talk about it all next.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's our life. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today, we got a lot to talk about. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, continue to keep showing the love you've been. Smash that like button for your boy. It's free, it's easy, and it's greatly appreciated. Subscribe and ding the bell as well. Plus, there's some links in the description. We're up to 173 members in the Chalkboard Live app. We got some new additions, and the Android users, it's almost there. They keep telling me. Click the link, join up. Let's get to the news. So the Eagles placed Derek Barnett on injured reserve and signed defensive end Janarius Robinson from the Vikings practice squad. Now we're going to talk about why we signed him instead of bringing up Teron Jackson. We're also going to talk about his skill set, but let's leave that at the end. I want to get to Jonathan bleeping Gannon. Yes, Jonathan Gannon. And I'm going to let you hear the soundbite of him low-key saying Howie Roseman is involved in the defensive game plan, the rotation of the D-line. Like, what is going on? I'm Team Howie this whole offseason, right? What he's done for the roster with the cap, beautiful. The draft was beautiful. We got to start using it on the field via Jonathan Gannon. Now, he did say this. I had a couple calls where I put players in bad spots and I wanted them back. Just like sometimes players make bad moves, I wanted a couple calls back. I think it's more than a couple. I think it's the whole fourth quarter, the whole third, the end of the third to the whole fourth quarter. You could take that all back. Ultimately, he said we got to play better and coach better. I've been hearing that for a while. Now, the question was about not just the D tackle and defensive end rotation, but the defense rotations in general. Listen how he tries to throw it in there and then continue the conversation and try to take it somewhere else. What is going on in the meetings? Listen.
When it comes to the rotational position, so not just D tackle, D end, is that sort of game planned in, that rotation? How much room is it to change in game with you and Tracy?
Yeah, that's like we talked about, I think, last year. It's a good question. Like we set up the game plan a certain way and say, hey, we want to come out of the game kind of looking like this, right? And we do that with the head coach and with Howie. And, but then there's always...
Hold up. We set the game plan and the rotation. This is what we kind of want to do versus this team. We're playing the Lions. We see what they do, good and bad. We think this is what we want to do. Now, if they throw a wrinkle, we'll change it. But why do you discuss that with Howie Roseman? He said, yeah, we discussed that. Me and Tracy Rocker, me the defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon, and Tracy Rocker, the defensive line coach, discussed it with Nick Sirianni. Cool. But Howie Roseman? What is he doing? Listen to the whole thing again. And then I'm going to let him finish with him saying, well, things change, and then we do this, that, and the third, and all the defensive linemen will play. Get your best guys in and let them play.
When it comes to the rotational position, so not just D tackle, D end, is that sort of game planned in, that rotation? How much room is it to change in game with you and Tracy?
Yeah, that's like we talked about, I think, last year. It's a good question. Like we set up the game plan a certain way and say, hey, we want to come out of the game kind of looking like this, right? And we do that with the head coach and with Howie. And, but then there's always room for, as you go through the game, how the game goes. You don't know how it's going to unfold. You don't know that you're going to be up however many points in the third quarter or whatever, or you don't know how many points you're going to be down. So We try to keep that within reason. We set up a game plan and have a game plan for that, but then that can adjust moving forward. And that's why you guys will see all those guys snaps. Whoever plays for us, we feel good about, but those snaps will fluctuate through the year as the year goes within certain games because how games are played.
Because of how games are played, we don't know how much we're going to be up or down, this, that, and the third. I agree with that. But I think he made that answer longer is because he realized he put that Howie Roseman is part of the game plan on defense. Now, how much is he part of the game plan on offense? Listen, I'm not trying to bash Howie Roseman, but I just don't think he needs to be involved in that. We just saw him be a top 3 general manager in the NFL. We know the Dallas Cowboys' biggest problem is their GM butting in on their head coaches. They hire bad coaches and they butt in on bad coaches. I need to know that Jonathan Gannon is either failing or succeeding by himself. Same with Nick Sirianni. I need Howie Roseman to do his job and fall back. Part of his job was to pick the head coach that you trust. Howie Roseman and Jeff Lurie employed Nick Sirianni. That means you should have the utmost faith in the coaching staff or the people you pay. I'm running a business. If I tell you you could be on my show, I'm saying you do good content, you come on my show, you do it. I ain't gonna tell you what to say. I trust in you, or I wouldn't have put you on my show. Same with my cleaning business. Same with the $1 million corporations. They hire you, especially if you're a plant manager, which is kind of what the head coach is. The general manager, the plant manager is the head coach. Let him run the floor how he wants to. In the interview, he told you how he wants to run it. You must have liked it. Trust in your guys. Now, I'm not going to say that this is serious. Maybe JG just mentioned it because he popped in or something. I don't know. But the crazy thing is, I showed you this yesterday, and the defensive line snaps was crazy. I understand why Brandon Graham got 29. He's catching back up. But Milton Williams is going to be a play for us. Marlon T might be a play for us. But for them to be in the game more than Jordan Davis, there got to be different things. I'm thinking if Howie's involved, yeah, he want the money players playing. That's been his MO his whole career. Fletch making money, Hargrave making money, they got to play. But Milton Williams ain't making more than Jordan Davis. Marlon T ain't making more than Jordan Davis. And don't you think Howie wants his first-round pick, the one he moved up for, to be on the field? So if he's in the meetings, why ain't Jordan Davis on the field? Jordan Davis ain't on the field while he's helping out the run. Not just Jordan Davis, but Milton Williams and Marlon T helped out the run too. Get your best set. And tonight, listen closely. I don't know if it's going to be me by myself. I don't know if it's going to be me and LB. And if it's not tonight, it's tomorrow night. Tonight or tomorrow night, I will be going live. The All-22 came out. I looked at it a little bit. So we will be going live, and the All-22 will be playing. We'll only stop it when we want to see something. I'm not going to be able to draw on the screen because we're going to be live. If I do it recorded, I can draw on the screen. But we'll be live, so we'll talk about it. If you say, oh, I see something in the chat, we'll go back and we'll figure things out. Run defense, pass offense, run offense, pass defense, all that stuff. Now, last but not least, I want to look at what Jalen Hurts really did on third downs before we get into the new member of the Philadelphia Eagles, the new pass rusher. Look at this. Jalen Hurts, clutch downs. I didn't put just third downs because there's 2 fourth downs in here too. 3rd and 15, he runs it for 16 yards. 3rd and 6, he runs it for 10. Don't get mad at the runs. Watch the All-22. Most of them runs, he had to. 3rd and 4, passes it to A.J. Brown for 16 yards. 4th and 1, rushing touchdown. 3rd and 2, throws it to Dallas Goedert for 27 yards. 3rd and 3, throws it to A.J. Brown for 54 yards. That was the big one before the half. 3rd and 6, another pass to A.J. Brown for 10 yards. 3rd and 2, hit Zach Pascal for 7 yards. 3rd and 4, he runs it for 5 yards. And 4th and 1, he QB sneak to end the game. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 runs, 10 total plays, and talk about balance. 5 runs, 5 passes. I know some people want their runs to be limited. Quarterback design runs? Maybe. And we do not want him to get hit late like he's been. But if he sees it or he needs to get out of Dodge, Jalen, nobody does it better than you. Maybe Lamar. So do your thing. The passing was great last week for me. It was exactly what I wanted to see because he threw outside the numbers, but he also targeted the middle of the field like crazy, and we've been asking for that for sure. Now, we'll finish this up by just going over the new member of the Eagles. What's his name? Janarius Robinson. So the Eagles Tuesday afternoon placed veteran defensive end Derek Barnett, ACL tear, on the injury reserve and already brought up his replacement. They replaced Barnett on the roster will be edge rusher Janarius Robinson, whom the Eagles sign off the Vikings practice squad. Robinson is 6'5", 260, was a fourth-round pick out of Florida State last year, but spent his rookie season on the injured reserve with a leg injury. This summer, he was waived at final cut, so he made the first 2 cuts and then signed to the Vikings practice squad, so he has yet to play in the regular season game. But there's a lot to like about Robinson. He's long, limited pass rusher who had 6 sacks and 16 tackles for loss over his final 2 seasons at Florida State. He started 28 games for the Seminoles before being drafted in the 4th round last year. He also boasted a pretty impressive athletic profile. We're not going to go through all his profile, but if you know who that is, let me know your thoughts on the newest member of the Philadelphia Eagles. I go by Philly Mike. Continue to hit that like button. Listen, y'all killed it. Y'all got 1,000 likes on the live play-by-play and Monday's video. Okay. Appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. Until next time, y'all know what time it is. Remember, tonight or tomorrow night, live, all 22. The whole all 22 game is at about an hour. We'll skip some of the dumb plays, but we'll repeat some of the important ones we have to talk about. Make sure you got notifications and you make sure we about to do it. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out. Peace.